Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about how to build trust in a relationship. So I'm going to go through basically some things you can do in general, and then I'm going to sprinkle in some things here and there about what to do if the trust is already broken in your relationship and how to rebuild that trust. So some of these things are going to work for everybody, people that are just wanting to build more trust in their relationship, and also for people that have perhaps maybe cheated on their spouse or done something that has made their partner mistrust them, and how to get that trust back and start building it. So some common ways that you can build trust in a relationship. Now this is a big one, right? It really is a big one. And that is doing what you say you're going to do, right? So if you say that you're going to do the washing up that day, you do it. If you're going to say that you're going to hang the painting that you've both been meaning to hang for ages, it means that you're going to hang it. If it means that if you say you're going to clear out the garage today, then you clear out the garage today, right? Doing what you say and not just saying stuff, saying, oh yeah, I'll get to that at some point, right? Just do it, right? Don't leave any task undone unless you have a really good reason to, right? And I mean a really good reason to, not like, oh, I was watching Netflix and I just forgot, right? That's a rubbish excuse, okay? And it is an excuse because you probably didn't forget about it, okay? So doing what you say you are going to do and doing it all the time. If you're going to do something, right, and if you intend to do something, just do it, right? And if you're not going to do something, and if you feel like you're not going to do something, then don't bother saying that you're going to do it at all. So don't say you're going to clean the garage if you know in your heart you're not going to clean the garage that day. You feel like, oh, you know what, I think I'll probably do it on Saturday. Well, say I'm going to clean the garage on Saturday rather than saying I'll do it today, right? Right? Common sense sort of things, right? And that's a good way to build trust, because if you say what you're going to do and you always do it, and your partner recognizes it, they're really going to trust you. That means, like, if you ever say, oh, okay, I'm going to pick you up today at 3 p.m. from the train station, they will know that you're going to be there, right? Because you always say what you mean and you always do what you say, right? So that's a good big one on how to build trust in a relationship. And if you keep that consistent throughout your entire life, they're going to see you as their rock, whoever it may be, whoever your partner is. Because you're always there, you're always dependable, and there's someone that they can rely on. Because that's another way that you can say what trust is. Someone that you can depend on, someone that you can rely on, someone who is there, who says what they're gonna do, right? And if you're a bit of a scatterbrain, because sometimes I'm like that, I write a list. Like if I've said I'm going to do a couple of things, then I write a list about it so I don't forget. Because sometimes I do forget about things. But, if it's really important, most of the time I don't forget. But if it's a small little thing, sometimes I can forget. So I write it down. Like if you're a scatterbrain, you write it down. You've got no excuse, basically, to not do what you say unless it's an emergency. Unless, your house burns down, or you have to go to the hospital or something like that, or there's some other kind of emergency, right? But most of the time, on regular days, you should be able to do what you say and commit to it, right? Keep your promises, okay? Keep your promises. So another way to build trust is to communicate properly. So, for example, with, like, let's say, like the typical heterosexual relationship, where I see a lot of couples go wrong is men pretend, well, not pretend, but they expect their women to think like they do, right? And it's the same with women as well. Women expect men to think in the same way that they do, when in reality, men and women most of the time think really differently, right? Unless we're talking about a very feminine man, or a masculine woman. Because a masculine woman, like, I personally consider myself a masculine woman, and I think differently. I think more like a man thinks. Not all the time, because I am still a woman, obviously. There are some things that are just ingrained in me that I can't do, right? As a man, I can't do man things. But, and that's fine, obviously. But, like, I have what I would consider a very masculine brain. And my wife, for example, has a very feminine brain, right? So you know, unless you're talking about things like that, where things have kind of switched a bit and you're kind of dealing with a masculine woman or you're dealing with a feminine man, you know, usually men and women behave differently. They communicate very differently as well. So, for example, men usually want a quick solution to their problems, whilst women typically like to talk about their feelings. They like to talk about the problem. They like to get it out of their system, right? Whereas men, you know, they like to, you know, just look up a quick how-to video or something, a quick tutorial on how to fix something, or they may ask someone that they trust, like a fellow guy or someone, you know, a parent or something. They may ask them for advice on something, on how to fix something, right? And women typically just like to talk about it, right? So if you're a man watching this, if you want to build trust with your wife or your girlfriend, then the best thing that you can do is allow her to express her emotions and allow her to talk about her problems, and only offer a solution and to help fix the issue if she asks. And if you're unsure about it, just ask her. Just be like, okay, so would you want to just talk about this and I can listen to you, or would you like me to give my opinion and to offer a solution? You know, that's something that you could say. And most of the time, she's probably just going to say, you know, well, yeah, you know, I kind of just want to talk about it right now, you know, and allow that. But don't go to that question straight away either. You know, ask her questions before that. So if she comes home and she's really upset, clearly upset about something, you know, be like, oh, hey, what's up? You know, what's going on? And then she may start a little bit and start talking about it, and then you kind of dig deeper, like, oh, why did that happen? You know, start asking more questions about it so she can get it out of her system, right? And you want to be really present with this. So that means you've got to put down your phone, you've got to turn off the TV, turn off the video game, or, you know, stop working on the car, whatever it is that you're doing that day. And so you can, you know, just solely focus on her. And you want to really listen as well. Don't just listen, just, you know, try and understand where she's coming from as well. So what I personally do when my wife is going through some kind of thing and she's talking to me about it, and she's telling me a story, let's say about something that happened at work or something like that, what I do is I ask her questions about it, and when she's telling me it, I kind of picture it in my brain like as if she's telling me a story, right? And when I do that, I tend to listen and understand what she's saying a lot better, because sometimes my wife says something to me and it goes whoop, it goes straight out my ears, right? It goes from one ear and out the other straight away, and it didn't process in my brain at all, and I have to say, oh, I'm really sorry, can you repeat that? I missed that. You know, that happens a lot. It happens quite frequently. You know, like I said, I have a more masculine brain, so I'm not someone, I get really distracted really easily. If I'm focused on something, it's really hard for me to focus on two things at once. So let's say I'm like watching TV or something, and my wife says something to me. If I'm focusing on the TV too much, it's more likely that I'm not going to hear it. That I'm not going to understand what she said to me. I might have heard her say something. I might have heard her speak, but I didn't hear it. I didn't listen to it. So that's something else that you can do as well. You know, just focus, try and give her your presence, basically. And with women watching this, you know, when you want to build trust with your guy, and you know, you don't want to try and get him to talk about his feelings if he doesn't want to, right? Because, you know, some guys, you know, there are some issues that perhaps they do want to talk about, and they do want to talk about it for a long time because perhaps it's, you know, something really big for them. But most of the time, if it's just a little issue, it's not really that big, men are quite happy to just, you know, just think it over themselves. They don't really want to open up and talk about it like how a woman would talk about it, right? And we've got to stop trying to make men act like women when it comes to communication and talking. Now, you know, for example, you know, a man may want to ask a friend about it for a quick solution, you know, but it's very difficult for a woman, let's say, to offer a man a quick solution, because all she knows is to communicate about her feelings. So what she's doing, she's digging, she's prying, she's asking more questions, when the guy just wants her to say something like, oh, okay, I'll help you fix this, what do you think we should do? Or she may even offer an opinion or a solution to help him fix it. He's more looking for that. He's more looking for the give me something to fix this, rather than stop asking me questions about it, just help me fix it. Right? That's usually where a man is coming from in that kind of situation. Not all the time, right? And sometimes men do want to talk about their feelings and talk about their emotions, but not all the time. A man should only talk about his feelings if he wants to. Women shouldn't be prying too much about what's going on with a man, because it's more likely going to make him shut off and turn away from her. Okay, because most of the time he just wants a quick solution, or he just wants to ring up one of his friends or someone that he trusts to ask for a solution, or he might want to talk to an expert about it, right? The best thing for a woman to do then is to say, would you like my opinion on this? Would you like me to help you fix it? Or I have a solution to fix this. Would you like to hear it? Right? And it may be the case as well. You're like, oh, well, you may ask your guy, would you like me to listen to you talk about it? Do you just want someone to talk to about this? Right? Offer that, right? And accept whatever he says. Like if you say, do you want me to fix this, or would you just like me to listen? And he says, I would like you to help me fix this. Then just focus on helping him fix it. Don't try and pry more into what's going on, because more than likely, if he doesn't want to say it, he's not going to say it, because men should only talk about their feelings if they want to. And I guess it's the same for women as well. They don't have to talk about their feelings, but it's just that they're more likely to want to talk about it. They're more likely to want to tell a big story about it. I find this really often with my mother. Like when I phone her up, she gives me the whole story from start to finish. She didn't get to the punchline until like 15 minutes down the road. So there's like a pattern to how like men and women speak. So a man speaks something like da 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 da, and that's it, right? A woman though is more like na 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 na. So I'm sorry about the weird sound effects, but that's generally how it goes. There's a concrete solution or an ending to a man's conversation or a man's point, whereas with a woman it's more like a story. They want to go into it, they want to get into the details of it, right? Whereas men, not as much. Not all the time though. Some men do like to talk in that way, the same way as typically a woman would, which is fine. We're all allowed to have our own temperaments. There are many men out there that have feminine temperaments, and many women out there like myself that have more male temperaments, right? So, that's another way that you can build trust in a relationship, by understanding that the person that you're with most likely communicates in the complete different opposite of what you do, right? For men, your women, they might not want you to help them fix it. They may just want to talk about it. And with women, your men, they may just want a solution and an opinion. They don't really want to go into the nitty-gritty details of it, right? So that's some advice on that, and how you can communicate and build that trust via communication. And just being really considerate and understanding to the person that you're with, and understanding that their communication style is probably a lot different to yours, and just being very aware of that and respectful of that, right? And being aware, and also being present as well in the conversation, not looking at your phone, because both men and women are bad at that. You try and have a good conversation about something important, but you want to get back to watching Netflix, or you want to stare at your phone watching TikToks or something. You've got to be present with each other and fully there with each other, and and it shows respect as well. Like if, let's say your woman comes home and she's really sad, and let's say you were watching TV, it's really respectful if you switch the TV off and you turn to her and you say, what's going on, baby? Something like that, It just shows that you really care about what's going on right now, and you really care about her, and you really care about what she has to say. And it's the same with women as well. Like if your man comes up to you and he seems like a bit off, he seems like he wants to talk about something, then put your phone down or turn the TV off, whatever it may be, fully focus on him and try and sort out the problem, okay? So this goes into, another way that you can build trust in a relationship, and this is an obvious one, and that is to not be unfaithful, not to lie, not to scheme. Always be honest with your partner, and don't be disrespectful in these ways like lying and cheating and things like that. That's an obvious one, right? So what do you do then if you have cheated and you have lied, or you have done something really big to, let's say, blotch the relationship, and now your partner distrusts you? So going through some of the things that I've already said will help, like always being that kind of person that says what they mean and does what, and basically does what they say they're going to do, and do that consistently over a long period of time. But also, don't intentionally ever try to hurt them. Don't even give a whiff, basically, that you could cheat again. So that means, when you're hanging out with your partner, don't be looking at, if you're a man, let's say, don't be looking at other women, and if you're a woman, don't be looking at other men, checking out other people, while you're with them, because they're going to be watching you like a hawk if you've cheated, right? So if you start displaying anything like that, it's going to really, really hurt them. And you shouldn't do that anyway. You shouldn't be looking at other men or other women when you're with someone, even if you're never going to cheat on them. You shouldn't be doing that sort of thing. You know, you should always be focused on your partner. Sure, when you're hanging out with your friends and your partner's not around, you can have a little look at what's on offer, right? But don't do that while your partner's there. And if you have true integrity, you won't even do that either, right? So it's just about having like this integrity, and just remembering, you know, you got to start being more dependable. Like if you've done something that has made them mistrust you, you need to really step up your dependability game and start being someone that they can truly rely on, truly trust, and truly communicate with. And go through basically this video again if you need to get those lessons in, and to ingrain them into your brain, because they really are important lessons. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com to get coaching with me. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.